Guys, welcome back. In this video, we're running through a full breakdown of the process we teach to our clients that help them free up an hour of time in their calendar so that they can switch their one-on-one in-person business to a semi-private model and condense their workload into a 3 to 4 hour day so that they now have time to be able to work on their business, build their online business and turn it into something that is really essentially an income producing asset.
Yeah.
If you look at the wealthy, what do? They don't work for income, they create and acquire assets. So we want to do that as well, but the only way that we can do that is if we first have time in our schedule and in our calendar to do those things. The last thing you want to do when you're already busy as fuck on the gym floor, you're already flat out working from fucking 5 a.m. until 8 p.m. is to add more things to your plate. That's the worst thing you can do because you're already pushing yourself to the absolute limit. You're already probably burnt out. Like adding more to your plate is not going to be a good idea. One, because you're going to end up fucking fatigued and stressed and burnt out. But two, you're not actually going to be able to do it fucking well if you add shit to your plate without first creating space for it.
Okay, let's address that. Trainers always want to grow. Busy coaches, they always want to grow. But they hit the ceiling, they get capped. But they get excited about like shiny objects. And what we create, it's not a shiny object. It's a legitimate, like Matt said, it's an income producing
strategy
asset. It's a long-term thing that you want to build. So it needs to be given the space and
chess, not checkers.
Yeah, we're doing things properly. And if you are, you need to create the space. Otherwise, you're going to start it and then it's going to get all too hard. And then you're going to say, oh, it was all too hard. I couldn't do it. When in reality, you just didn't find a way to create the space to prioritize it.
Good time. Let's get into some stuff on the whiteboard because we want to run you through some ideas that will help you to do this. So the first step, because most of the people that come to us, they're already busy. If we think about Mary or Hayden or Matt Rufus or anybody that's been with us for any amount of time, they all started busy. They all were doing at least 50 to 60 or sometimes up to 70 hours a week.
Yep.
And when you're doing that amount of work, there's no space for anything additional. The challenge is like the main project, the main thing that we need to do is switch from one-to-one sessions to semi-private. But to do that in itself is a project. And that also requires space. So what do we need to do to create time in your calendar, essentially, to do that project, to work on that, to build the systems and create the things and actually physically do the transition from one-on-one to semi-private? What do we need to do? So this little diagram here kind of explains the process. At the bottom, we've got time blocks. This is kind of like the foundation of it all. Most people don't use a calendar, don't use a diary, don't have a thing that actually tracks what they're doing in their days and when, which is fucking insane. I can't believe that the majority of people don't have a calendar.
Even if they have a calendar, mate, it's full of a whole lot of inefficiency, like gaps. They might put their sessions in, but like, that's the first thing they put in is their sessions. There's no, where's your plan forward?
Yeah.
Where's the ability for you to work on the things in the future that are going to buy you back time? They're not in there.
And that's why I think most people run around like a fucking headless chook through the day, and they feel so busy, yet they feel like they got nothing done.
And they know they can do more.
Yeah.
But if there's nothing in your diary, like you're not getting distracted or procrastinating, there's nothing in there, right?
Yep, exactly. So the first step is to time block everything out. Set yourself up in Google Calendar or Outlook. Again, if you're using Outlook, you're an idiot. Like, personal preference. Google Calendar is way better though. Use Google Calendar, set everything up, put all your time blocks in for literally everything. There should be no white space in your calendar. It should be all time blocked out, from sleep to your morning routine, waking up, lunch, meals, training,
when your breaks are,
admin, when your breaks are, everything should be time blocked. Then when you're going through and you're doing your time blocks, you want to prioritize the big rocks first. You know the story of the university lecturer that has a jar and he's like, cool, like, puts in what does he do? He explains, like, if I fill this thing up with water first and then try and put rocks in after.
The important stuff, I think it's Stephen Covey was the first person who talked about it.
Yep.
But the big rocks are the things that are most important.
Yep.
So the things that are most important are not necessarily urgent.
No.
Right? They're the most important.
Difference between importance and urgency, yeah.
Yeah. So important is the thing that's going to move the needle forward in your big picture and your long term. We just filmed a video talking about your 3-year plan, your journey, your vision of where you want to get to, creating an income producing asset. That's the most important thing you need to always prioritize. But there are things that can come up that are important for sure. Like if there's something that's, you're signing a client up and you need to get their agreements and their payment links, that's urgent. But there's a space and time in your day that you put the big rocks in first, because the idea, if you want to finish the analogy.
Yeah, it's like if you've got a jar and you're trying to fill it up, if you fill it up with sand, you won't have any space to put the big rocks in first. The sand is the kind of like just
the filler.
The cannon fodder, the things that just fill your space, but don't, like that's, again, being really busy, but not really getting much done. So you want to fill the jar with the big rocks first. Those are the most important things, like you said, not the most urgent things, the most important things to your long-term vision. Then you want to put the pebbles. Then you want to put the sand. Then you want to fill it with water. And so then you're going through the progression. So the idea is you want to put the big rocks first, the things that are most important. Sleep, first and foremost. Then
your health in general.
Yeah, your health, right? So sleep, food, training, put those things in. Then you want to look at, okay, in terms of your business, what are the most important things that you need to do to move things forward? Client sessions are not always the most important thing. In fact, most of the time, they're not.
Can I clarify that?
Yes.
Your clients are important, yes, but nowhere near as important as if you are not focused, for example, on marketing and you lose 3 clients, you freak the fuck out, you drop into scarcity because you're worried, right? If you always have marketing and leads coming in and you're easily able to make sales, you never stress about anything. This is why we teach you how to become a business person, so that you put those big rocks into your day first, because then you never have to worry. So you need to prioritize big rocks. Now, there are specific projects at specific times that are important, but I want to make sure that your big rocks are there, so that when you do the other things that go along with your client delivery, admin, scheduling, programming, that comes after the big rocks, because you've done the big rocks. Like Brian Tracy said, eat the frog. Do the hardest thing first, because you feel fucking awesome if you've moved the needle on the one thing that you need to do each day.
Yep. The simple way to kind of think about it as well is in versus on your business. Working on your business, that's a big rock. Working in your business, doing admin and client delivery and that sort of stuff, that's in your business. Those are not big rocks, right? That's the sort of stuff that you actually want to batch. That's the thing. Those are the things that you want to group together and do all of them in a time block, so that you can batch it all out and your brain doesn't have to context switch between a whole bunch of different tasks. Context switching, the best example is like, if I was to ask you to recite the alphabet from A to Z, you could do that very quickly. If I was to ask you to count...
A, B, C, D, E, F, G. No, I do it.
Yeah. If I was to get you to count from 1 to 26, you could do that very easily. But if I was to get you to go A, 1, B, 2, C, 3, that's going to be, like, you will stuff up. It will take you 3 times as long. That's context switching. So with batching, we want to eliminate context switching. And that's where you want to look at doing things like admin and programming, right? Doing it all together in one kind of block and not spreading it out over the course of the week. You could have a day that's your admin day, and you literally just do all of your admin in one go, and it's out of the way. The rest of the week, you can then focus on your big rocks.
It's also called chunking up.
Yes.
You might think there's a lot of things on your plate, but you realize, they're SMS things, they're calls, they're emails. Chunk them up.
Grouping like
all the SMSs. Yeah, so you chunk those up and then you do them in a block, a time block, and you might do 25 minutes of, I'm going to go boom, boom, boom. I'm going to do those in one go.
Makes it so much more efficient for your brain.
100%.
Because you don't have to context switch, right?
So you've pretty much covered batching, yeah?
Yeah, batching. So periodization, you're all familiar with that term for programming. You want to think about your calendar as the same kind of thing. You want to think about it like program design. That means you're going to build it around the natural ebbs and flows of your energy. You don't want to just smash yourself all day, every day, because you will never fucking recover. You will end up in distress instead of eustress. So periodizing your calendar means building in little deloads and breaks, making sure that you've got time to relax and recover, and doing it in a way that adds to your efficiency and adds to your energy rather than takes away.
Everyone in PT understands circadian rhythm and cadences in their day. And if you can work with your body, not against it, then you will naturally find, for example, when you're more creative, like say marketing, I'm going to do that when my brain's fresher in the morning after my coffee.
Yeah,
I'm
like you want to do your heavy compound lifts at the start of the workout when you're fresh versus at the end of the workout after
Exactly.
your muscles are fatigued. It's the same thing.
Yep.
So periodizing your calendar means, again, bring your big rocks first, doing the most important things, that eating the frog, doing that stuff first, putting that at the front of your day, then having gaps and having rest sets and those sorts of things, deloads, making sure those are periodized into your day and to your weeks so that you can maintain your energy and actually finish the workout instead of getting halfway through.
and get to Friday and feeling not cooked versus feeling fresh because you've looked after yourself. You've actually put in deloads and rest in your week. Yeah,
exactly. Lastly, this is the concept of no extra time. Net time, no extra time. What that means is you are doing, again, similar to batching, using tasks and things that you would need to do. Say, for example, like if you had to be on meetings or if you needed to do certain admin tasks like replying to emails, you can do that while you do other things. It doesn't take a whole lot of brain effort and focus to do stuff like replying to emails or a little bit of programming or stuff like that. So you can combine things together essentially and say, for example, the simplest thing is like when you're eating. When you're eating, it's very simple for you to be able to, rather than sitting there scrolling on social media, fucking do your admin. Like reply to some emails, reply to some messages on Instagram or whatever, like do your lead gen or your follow-up or those sorts of things that are actually going to move you forward. Condense that into no extra time where you're doing things as well, other things as well, like eating, or say, for example, you need to do your cardio. Like if you're just on a fucking bike while you're doing admin, get a little bike desk or something. They fucking exist. Like you can literally just sit there and do your admin while you're
I watch modules and stuff that we're always wanting to learn and grow in our business whilst I'm doing cardio.
Yep.
I love it. Or going for a walk. It's awesome.
Yep. Yeah. You take calls when you go for walks. Like that's
100%.
You're combining things together, and that way you get a walk in and you get your calls done.
Plus, my energy is awesome when I'm walking.
Yeah, big time. So when you go through that process, there's kind of like 3 different calendars I want to take you as a kind of demonstration of this. When you go through this process, you will start to get to this stage here. So this is what a busy PT kind of typically looks like. Now, this is not going to be the same for everybody, but this is our closest estimate to.
We have a lot of busy clients where we've looked at this and we do an audit on their time, and it looks roughly like this. Sometimes I don't start so early, but yeah.
Yeah, this is as close to what we have found to be most common as possible.
Yep.
So 4 a.m. wake up, 5 a.m. you're into sessions. That'll go until about 9 a.m. where you have a break and you eat. 10 a.m. you might train. 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. you might do some more sessions. Again, this is all one-on-one stuff. Like you're spending a lot of time. So like 5 to 9. That's 3 hours? 4, not including 9 o'clock though.
Yeah.
5, 6, 7, 8, 4. You are correct. 4 hours there.
That's why I'm the finance guy, dude.
Yes. 11 to 2, how many is that?
3.
3, so that's 7, and then 4 to 7, another
3.
So you've got 4 plus 6.
Yeah. 10.
Which is 10 hours a day.
Of actual delivery.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Not including your admin, right, which also has to fit in there. Your own training, like all of that shit.
Matt, if this was a pie chart, what it always looks like is 95% of your day is working in your business and less than 5%. And even I would say admin is working in your business.
Yes.
It's 98%.
It's not working on the business.
There's no time working on the business. No.
So if you put a little bit of time and effort into thinking about how you structure your days and your weeks, you will be able to free up a substantial amount of time. At least an hour. An hour is very, very easily doable for 99% of people, but you will probably be looking at freeing up 1 to 2 hours easily. What that's going to look like is here. So 4 a.m. you wake up, 5 a.m. you do sessions, 9 a.m. you eat, right? You can have your little 30-minute eating and you can do something else as well, right? You might have no extra time there where you might do something additional while you're eating. Again, it could be study, it could be replying to emails, it could be some admin, whatever it is.
Circle it in red.
Yes.
Just what are the major changes? If we're getting an hour back, what we've done is we've kind of reprioritized just the time. Like we've all got the same time, but it's more about how we prioritize the things, and these are the elements. The big rocks are going in first, so you're
This is if you're doing a transition to semi-private. Like, again, that's going to be a bit of work. You'll need to come up with your email to communicate the change to clients. You'll need to set up systems so that you can actually run semi-private. You need to plan out your sessions and your session times. You need to set up
the transition.
softwares. You need to communicate it. You need to have conversations with people. There's a lot of stuff that can kind of go into that. But here you've got 90 minutes until 11 a.m. when you start sessions again at the same time. 90 minutes for you to actually move your business forward. That already is like, we've gone from having an hour of a break and eating, which is a waste of time, essentially, to having same time eating and no extra time where you might do some study or some education or some admin, to then a 90-minute work block where you actually get to work on the business and move things forward.
One thing, Matt, turn your phone off. Turn all your distractions off. And if you can do a 90-minute block, you might even break it up into, we talk about the Pomodoro technique. You might do 25 minutes on, 5 minutes off. Mm-hmm. Like just break it up, have a clear focus, no distraction, and do the thing. And you guys know, you're incredibly smart when you have focus. Mm-hmm. It's just you got to know exactly what the outcomes are that you want to do in that.
Yep.
So even in your task batch, you can break it up and you could do multiple things in that. You go, right, in this 30-minute block, I'm going to get this done.
Yep.
Then we get this done. Yep. Right, so...
And set timers so that way it's keeping you focused. Because again, Parkinson's law, work shrinks and expands to fit the time allotted for it. The other thing is we've moved training to later in the day because, again, what's the most important thing? The big rocks, right? Training's important, yes, but you don't necessarily need to be as fresh for training as you would for something like creative work or something where you have to do creative problem solving and put real effort and focus into it, right? Training for a lot of you is fucking second nature, so you can do it later in the day with no issues.
Plus, it's optimal for energy and for hypertrophy.
Yeah, you've already got glycogen in your body from eating earlier in the day.
You could prioritize it first thing. Yes, you can put it in the morning. All good. I'm an AM person, but I have the condensed diary. So
find what works for you.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can move things around. Again, you want to periodize it so it's built around the energy and so that you're doing the most important things when you're fresh.
100%.
Same time, lunch and admin, but again, we're doing admin at the same time as lunch instead of just literally having a break and doing nothing and doing a little bit of admin. And it's kind of we want to be intentional with this time. We want to use it as much as possible rather than sitting there and kind of dicking around on your phone and then, I got to do this fucking program. I better reply to this email. Someone's fucking messaged me.
Reactive mode.
Fucking stop that. Be intentional, sit down, set a timer for 25 minutes, do one thing for that timer. Get that thing done, then move on. Cool, then 4 p.m. sessions again, 7 p.m. dinner. Again, this is worlds better than this because you've got a 90-minute time block. Even though it's only 90 minutes, it's not a lot, but 90 minutes of being able to work on your business, you spread that out over the course of a week. Quick maths, how much is that?
Sorry, 90 minutes times
5 days.
Oh, 7.5.
There you go. So you got 7.5 hours, almost a full work day, every single week, working on the business.
Yeah, that's 25% of your week, right?
That is going to create a big shift and a lot of space for you to then work on transitioning to semi-private. Once you transition to semi-private, this is what it looks like here. So again, instead of waking up at 4 a.m., you get to wake up at 5 or even 6 if you want to push it. 6 a.m., you start your semi-privates. So instead of doing 5 a.m. sessions, you're actually starting a little bit later. And you have flexibility in your schedule now because you've done the transition. Semi-privates, you might do a 2-hour block until 8 a.m. when you actually have breakfast. That's not necessarily a common thing, is it?
One of the things I said, and I talk a lot about this to PTs, 2-hour blocks, you usually should have about a half an hour break. This is the thing about self-care and why even if you do crazy, if you're doing 5 till 9, you're cooked, you're exhausted. You're you can't even use words after speaking to clients for that long. You're usually using coffee and all kinds of things to push through, whereas this works with your body. You can work 2 hours and with 3 or 4 people in a semi-private, you're on, your brain's on. So I actually said to Matt, I used to have a cafe that was downstairs from the office. And they knew to have...
When you were coaching?
When I was coaching in the city, and they would have my 5-egg omelette downstairs, ready to go with pancetta and cheese and all the good shit. I'd be like straight there and straight into breakfast and a coffee at 8.
a.m.
I was the only person, whilst everyone else was working, I'm having brekkie on my own, I'm chilling, got my quiet space, it's all good. I can do a bit of admin whilst I was there, but brekkie in half an hour was easy to get done. And then also I had the time to digest it.
Yep.
To then come back as we've shown here, Matt. So we've had
Get into
brekkie.
your next block of semi-privates until about 10:30.
And then I was done. No more work. I didn't actually.
You're done for the day for client sessions, yeah. 10:30.
Yeah, and there was a third of a day of delivery versus you guys, your whole day.
In that time, you've done 1, 2 sessions there, 2 sessions there.
Four
so
semi-privates, 12 clients.
with 3 people, 4 people in each. So that's 12 to 16 people that you've seen in that time compared to, what, 5 to 6?
I ran
6 to
4-on-ones,
7.
but yeah.
Yeah,
So
7 to 8, 8 to 9, that's 4 people.
That's 5
3
5 people.
5 people here.
Yep.
And then here,
Yep.
4.
Another 3 here. So yeah, like they're going to see maybe 12 to 14 people
In a day.
in a one-on-one model. I've seen them all before
That's
10:30.
spread out all through the day.
Yeah.
Whereas, yeah, you've done it all by 10:30.
Yep.
Right? So that's the power of semi-private, is being able to fucking clock off for the day at fucking 10:30 if you want to. Then 10:30, again, you want to use that time that you've now created to build the income producing asset. So we want to focus on the big rocks. That's where we work on the business, not in it. And we create things. We create intellectual property and systems and things that create wealth for us so that we don't always have to trade time for money. So that's where you focus on that. You might do a 2-hour time block and then have some lunch. Again, because you've got a lot more flexibility in your schedule now and you're not so fucking chaotic and got so much you need to do, you don't always need to do the no extra time thing. You can actually just fucking sit and enjoy your lunch if you want to.
I'll say this on task batches, and this is if you're going hard, and I'm saying if you're going hard and you're really driven, 2-hour blocks that are super focused is a lot. It's a lot. Like that 4 hours of working on your business and moving the needle is a lot. Or if you're maxing out 3 90-minute blocks, that is crushing it. You can do less. Right? But even if you did 1 2-hour block, you're still going to crush it.
Yep.
I just want you to understand that that's how you, but it's working and working smart. And even in a 2-hour block, and we talk about the Pomodoro technique, you've also got the flex of those 2 hours. You know, you might do like 25-minute on, 5-minute off. So you got 4 little blocks. You can also batch those and break them up. And you might have one that just has flex. It could be, I don't know, right now I've got to deal with finding a landscaper. So I'll do some personal shit, or I got to run around the house and just put some washing on and shit because it just needs to get done. Like, chuck some stuff that's for you in there. You can do it, but you've got flex because you can, even within that batch, you can play with what needs to get done, but just get clear. The biggest challenge is for trainers, they don't know what to work on. That's why we give you guys a lot of coaching around what's the key project and the one thing you're moving forward, because with the clarity that you know you now need to do, now it's just about prioritizing, scheduling it, and building the discipline. You guys have got it around training, but it's about building the discipline that really builds the vision, the wealth creation, the vehicle you want to have in your life.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So then you might do a 2-hour block, have some lunch, another 2-hour block. You've got 4 hours a day working on the business. You might have done 4 hours in the business or thereabouts, 3 hours of actually delivery, but you got a block in the middle for brekkie, is that right?
Yep.
6 to 8, no, that's 4, sorry, my bad. So 4 hours, and then you got another 4 hours. That's an 8-hour workday. That's still 2 hours less than this of actual work. And you've spent 4 hours working on the business, building the vehicle, creating the income producing asset.
And you haven't fucked yourself in the process. And, you know, like what you're doing when you finish late, and then you know what it's like hospitality. Then you got to wind down and actually calm down. Then you got to eat, and you're eating at the wrong time.
A partner or a family as well, time for them.
What time should you be sleeping if you're getting up at 4 a.m.? You should be going to bed at 8 p.m., but you can't go to bed at 8 p.m. because you're still wound up.
Sooner than that.
And so you're short on sleep. You're not actually living health. And that's why a lot of trainers, and I jokingly say this, a lot of them actually get fat or are incredibly unhealthy because they actually do the same thing their clients do. They overvalue work and undervalue their health. This model allows you to have all of it, chill the fuck out. I don't know if you have a partner or whatever, be present and actually have energy for all the things that matter.
Yeah, I mean, You do your 4 hours of work on the business, go and train at 3 p.m. 4 p.m. you might do some admin. 5 p.m. you're done.
And you got a life.
Like 5 p.m. like you got fucking 4 hours before you got to go to bed.
Yeah.
Like you can hang out, you can watch a fucking movie, you can go on a date night. Like you got time to do shit.
Yeah.
And that's the beauty of it, right? Is like, why would you want to work fucking 10 hours a day for the next fucking 20, 30 years until you retire? Like,
I just don't think PTs know another way, but you know it's not working. So if you want to learn how to condense this and
actually execute this process and do it well, do it properly.
there's a process, and it's a process of following and doing the right things at the right time with clear stop-offs and goals. This is something that we love to break down. Right? If you can look at your business and your life, your business comes down to two things. It comes down to time, your time, and how you use it, and how you make money. And there's so many ways that are possible to you that's going to open your eyes. And this shift, I tell you right now, if you were to condense, this is something you could do for the next 10 or 20 years. You just got to ask yourself, is the current thing you're doing, does that have the same longevity?
Big time. If you want some help to actually execute this process and transition from doing one-on-one trading time for money to something that's more leveraged, something like semi-private and online, go on our YouTube channel. There's a bunch of videos that'll show you that process. There's one that we just recorded on switching to semi-private. There's one on the roadmap that we created, essentially, where we just break down the entire process of going from like trading all your time for money on the gym floor to having a leveraged online business and working 3 to 4 hours a day tops. The one thing that I did say is like, once you've got that condensed schedule, like, and you start to build the online thing, as the online thing scales, you can scale back the amount of face-to-face that you're doing. So those semi-privates in the morning become more and more and more optional.
Yeah.
And then you've created even more space for yourself. So
the question I would ask you and leave you on is, if you wanted to do in person, like how much of it would you do? And most of my clients say, honestly, if I had 1 or 2 sessions, or maybe a week, it scratches your itch. In fact, even you could just train with your clients, have 1 or 2 sessions,
yeah, just literally train with them as friends.
Because it's what you love doing. Yeah.
100%. So if you want to dive deeper, we've got more videos on our YouTube channel. Go and check that out. Until next time, we'll see you soon. Take care.